Snow fell in slow, drifting spirals across the quiet back roads of Pine Hollow, the kind of gentle winter snowfall that softened every sound and coated the world in a peaceful hush. Officer Logan Reeves sat in his patrol car, hands wrapped around a steaming travel mug, trying to coax warmth back into his fingers. Nights like these were usually uneventful. A stranded driver, maybe a raccoon knocking over someone's bins. Nothing more. It was just past 10 p.m. when he saw movement in the glow of his headlights. At first, Logan thought it was a deer limping across the road, but as the figure drew closer, he saw the outline, a dog, a white one. Too white, snow clung to its coat, but the animal itself seemed almost to glow against the darkness. It took a few more steps, hobbled, then sat down directly in front of the patrol car, staring at him through the windshield. Logan blinked. "Where did you come from, buddy?" The dog didn't bark, didn't growl. Instead, it did something no stray normally did. It lifted one paw, bloody, trembling, and pressed it against the front of the car, as if knocking. The sight hit Logan in the chest. He opened the door slowly, stepping into the crunching snow. The dog watched him with intelligent, pleading eyes, pale ice-blue eyes that shimmered with pain. It was a German shepherd, but unlike any he had seen before. Pure white, except for a streak of dirt and dried blood along its side. The left hind leg dangled at an odd angle. "Oh, you poor thing," Logan whispered. The dog limped toward him, stopping just inches away. Then it glanced over its shoulder toward the forest. Back at Logan, back to the forest again. It wasn't asking for help. It was begging him to follow. Logan's breath misted out in a long cloud. Something deeper than curiosity tugged at him. He had seen dogs in distress before, but never one acting with such deliberate purpose, as if it understood the stakes. "Well," he murmured, "lead the way." The shepherd turned and limped into the dark tree line. Logan grabbed his flashlight and radio, then followed. The woods swallowed sound. Snow weighed heavy on the branches, and flakes fell so thick that the beam of Logan's flashlight looked like it was cutting through fog. The shepherd limped ahead steadily, despite the pain. Every few seconds he looked back, making sure Logan kept up. The trail grew narrower, twisting between tall pines and frozen underbrush. "Where are you taking me, boy?" Logan whispered. Deep down, he already knew this was no ordinary situation. No lost pet, no abandoned stray. The dog wasn't leading him home. It was leading him to something urgent, something terrible. After about 10 minutes of walking, Logan smelled it. A sour chemical stench, carried by the cold air. He frowned and raised his collar. Chemicals? Out here? The nearest home was miles away. Nothing should smell like that. In the middle of a forest, the shepherd whined softly. "Easy, I'm right behind you." The trees thinned, and the faint outline of a cabin appeared. Run down, half buried in snow, but with a single dim light glowing from inside. Logan's instincts flared. He reached for his radio. "Dispatch, this is Officer Reeves. I'm checking out a structure off Old Mill Road. Possible trespassing or..." His words froze. A low, desperate sound echoed from the cabin. A cry, not human, not a dog, something between a whimper and a shriek. The shepherd flinched and pressed his body against Logan's leg, urging him forward. Logan whispered into his radio again, voice tight. "Dispatch, I need backup. Now." He didn't wait for a response. The shepherd limped to the door and scratched weakly at it. Logan's heart hammered. As he reached for the handle, the smell hit him first. Rot urine chemicals fear. He covered his nose with his sleeve and stepped inside. What he saw made his body go cold. Cages, dozens of them, stacked along the walls and floor. Some were empty. Some held animals curled in the corners. Foxes, rabbits, raccoons, all albino, all trembling. Their pink eyes glowed eerily in the dim light. Some were too weak to move. What on earth? The shepherd nudged one cage with his nose, whining urgently. Logan knelt. Inside were two tiny white fawns, thin ribs protruding. One lifted its head weakly. The other didn't move at all. His stomach twisted. This wasn't a hunting cabin. It was a testing lab. Someone had been capturing albino wildlife and experimenting on them. He scanned the room. Syringes. Vials. Bottles with worn labels. strange makeshift equipment. And in the corner, chains and restraints smeared with dried blood. A chill spread through him that had nothing to do with the cold. The shepherd limped to another cage, a larger one. He pawed at it repeatedly, whining louder this time. Logan approached. Inside lay another dog, another white shepherd. Smaller, thinner, trembling, eyes glazed. She looked up at Logan, then at the injured shepherd outside the cage, and gave a weak wag of her tail. "Your mate," Logan whispered. The injured shepherd pressed his head against the bars, licking her nose through the gaps. Something inside Logan cracked. He reached for the lock. It had been crudely latched, not built for security. He jerked it open. The moment the cage door swung wide, the injured female collapsed forward, nearly falling. Logan caught her gently, easing her down. The male shepherd licked her face frantically, whining with relief. Logan swallowed hard. "All right, we're getting you both out of here, I promise." He grabbed his radio again. "Dispatch, this is Officer Reeves. I've discovered a large-scale illegal wildlife operation. Multiple animals in critical condition. I need immediate backup, animal control, and paramedics." Static. Then, "Copy that, Officer Reeves. Backup en route. ETA 22 minutes. Logan cursed softly. 22 minutes felt like forever. A sudden crash sounded from the other room. The shepherds froze. Logan whipped around. Someone else was in the cabin. He moved silently along the wall, peering toward the doorway. A man stood in the adjoining room, a bulky silhouette wearing a heavy coat and gloves. He hunched over a table, stuffing something into a duffel bag. Bile rose in Logan's throat when he saw what? Vials, samples, files, syringes. The man was trying to flee. Logan unclipped his holster. "Police! Don't move!" The man jerked up in surprise, but not fear. Instead, he lunged for a drawer and yanked it open. Logan saw the glint of metal. "Don't!" he shouted. The man spun around, raising a firearm. The shepherd growled behind Logan. Low, deep, protective, Logan dove behind a shelving unit. As a shot rang out, echoing off the metal cages, the animals screamed and thrashed in panic. "Drop the weapon!" Logan yelled. Another shot blasted into the wall. Inches from his head, the man bolted toward the back exit. Logan sprinted after him, boots skidding on the icy floor. He reached the doorway just as the man disappeared into the trees. Logan raised his gun, sights aligned, but the man vanished into the dark forest. He had no choice but to let him go. He couldn't leave the animals behind. Breathing hard, Logan lowered his weapon. "He'll be caught," he muttered to himself. One way or another, he turned back to the shepherds, both watching him, trusting him. Something about that trust steadied him. "Let's get you out of here." He carried the female shepherd and guided the male out into the snow, then returned inside to inspect the other animals. Most were weak but alive. A few were barely clinging to life. A soft whimper pulled his attention. To the back corner, another cage, small and half hidden. Inside was a single white owl, wings drooping, feathers ragged. Logan felt his throat tighten. "How long have you all been suffering?" He opened the cage gently, scooping the frail bird into his jacket. The shepherd watched him, with approval in his pale blue eyes. "You knew," Logan murmured. "You escaped and came straight to me." The dog blinked slowly, as if acknowledging the truth. The snow outside deepened. The wind picked up, whistling through the trees. Logan looked around. Backup wouldn't arrive for 20 minutes. 20 minutes in this cold could kill the weakest animals. And the injured shepherds weren't much better. He had to make a decision. He grabbed his radio again. "Dispatch, I'm transporting critical animals to my patrol car. Advise EMTs I'll need immediate triage support." He turned back to the brave shepherd who had brought him here. "All right, hero, let's get you all home." The trek back through the snowy woods was slow, exhausting, and painfully cold. Logan carried 2 animals at a time, first the female shepherd and the owl, then returning for 2 fawns, then the foxes, then the rabbits. The injured male shepherd limped by his side during every trip, refusing to rest until all the survivors were safe. Halfway through, Logan's breath burned in his lungs. He stumbled once, nearly dropping a crate containing 2 trembling raccoons. The male shepherd nudged his leg. Encouragement. Comfort. "You're something else, aren't you?" Logan whispered. The dog wagged his tail weakly. It took nearly 20 minutes before the last of the animals were placed inside the patrol car, warming under the heater. The injured female shepherd rested with her head in the male's lap. He licked her ears gently, never looking away from her. Logan entered the driver's seat, just as the radio crackled. "Officer Reeves, backup approaching your location." Relief washed over him. Finally, but as he turned in his seat to check on the shepherds, the male suddenly jerked upright, ears pinned, muscles tensed. He growled, a deep warning rumble. Logan frowned. "What is it?" The forest behind them rustled. Footsteps coming closer. The male shepherd's growl deepened, his body stiff as he stared into the dark tree line. Logan instinctively reached for his holstered weapon, his breath frosting the air. The footsteps grew louder, heavy boots crunching across ice and snow. "Easy," Logan whispered to the shepherd. "Stay with her. I've got this." The dog didn't budge from the female's side, but his warning rumble never stopped. Logan cracked open the driver's door, stepping out slowly, quietly, his hand on his weapon. The shadows between the pines moved again. "Police!" Logan shouted. "Show yourself." A tense silence followed. Then, "Logan, it's me!" Relief swept through him. Like warm water in winter, two uniformed figures emerged from the trees, Deputy Harris and Deputy Moore, flashlights cutting through the snowfall. Behind them, the red and blue wash of backup cruisers flickered through the forest. Logan exhaled shakily. "You two nearly got yourselves shot." Harris lifted his hands. "We followed your tracks. Radio said you found something big." Logan nodded toward the patrol car. "You could say that." Moore peered inside and froze. "Good Lord, what happened to them?" "It's a long story," Logan murmured. "I'll explain on the way back. Right now, they need warmth and medical help." Harris's eyes moved toward the cabin. "And the one responsible?" "Fled," Logan said bitterly. "Armed, dangerous. He knew the forest too well." "We'll sweep the area," Harris said. "We'll get him." Logan hoped he was right. He turned back to the patrol car, where the male shepherd watched every move through the window. Protecting the female with unwavering devotion, Logan opened the door and leaned in. "It's all right, boy." "They're friends." The shepherd sniffed the air, then lowered his head, exhausted. Logan's chest ached at the sight. "Let's get you to safety." The convoy of patrol cars rumbled to life, tires crunching over ice, lights glinting against falling snow as they made their way toward town. Pine Hollow's small veterinary clinic was the closest thing. The rescued animals had to a hospital. The lights flicked on as Logan and the deputies burst through the door with crates, blankets, and trembling injured wildlife. Dr. Elise Warwick, gray-haired, sharp-eyed, wrapped in a quilted blue vest, rushed over. "Logan, what on earth?" "No time," Logan panted. These animals were kept in some kind of lab. Albinos, starving, frostbite, injections of some kind. Elise pressed a hand to her mouth, horrified. "Bring them inside." "All of them." Logan gently lifted the female shepherd first. She whimpered as he carried her, but when the male limped behind them, she raised her head slightly, wanting to keep him in sight. "She won't let him out of her sight," Elise noted. "After tonight, I don't blame her." It took nearly 15 minutes to unload the animals. The clinic was small, and Elise worked with her two assistants, but they moved with the urgency of trauma surgeons. Fluids, warming blankets, diagnostic tools, everyone was in motion. When Elise finally reached the shepherds, she knelt beside the male. "This one, he's older. He's been through a lot." "No kidding," Logan murmured. "He's the one who found me. Led me to the cabin." Elise gently examined his injured hind leg. "Fractured, infection setting in, but he's strong and stubborn." She smiled faintly. "That helps." The male shepherd didn't take his eyes off Logan. Not Elise, not the room. Logan, as if he recognized the only person who had believed him. Elise turned to the female. "Poor girl, underweight, malnourished, dehydrated. She's been suffering a long time." The male shepherd leaned close to her, resting his head against hers. Elise blinked back emotion. They're bonded. Maybe mates. Logan swallowed, feeling an unexpected tightness in his chest. They deserve a chance. They'll have one. Elise promised. I won't let them suffer another day. Logan looked around the clinic. Every table full, every hand working tirelessly. I'm staying, he said softly. As long as you need me. Elise nodded, then grabbed some gloves. We've got a long night ahead. Hours passed. Outside, the snow thickened into a blizzard, coating the streets in white silence. Inside the clinic, the atmosphere pulsed with urgency and compassion. Logan held IV bags, warmed blankets. He even helped clean wounds under Elise's direction. The male shepherd followed him with his eyes, whenever Logan moved into view, as if afraid he might disappear. At one point, Logan knelt beside him and stroked his muzzle gently. You did good, boy. You saved them. All of them. The shepherd blinked slowly, breathing out a tired sigh. The female, now lightly sedated, rested under a heat lamp. Her side rose and fell, steady but weak. Elise approached Logan quietly. I'll be honest. Without you and without him, none of these animals would have survived the night. Logan looked at the shepherd again, admiration welling deep inside him. He's the bravest partner I've ever worked with. The dog closed his eyes. At the word partner, as if understanding it meant he belonged somewhere again. By sunrise, the worst was over. The animals were stable. Weak but stable. Elise stepped back and exhaled. They're fighters. All of them. The male shepherd tried standing, limped a few steps, then leaned against Logan's leg. Logan steadied him. Easy. You're not going anywhere fast. The dog nuzzled Logan's hand. Moore entered the clinic, stamping snow off his boots. We've got news. Logan straightened. Tell me. We found a truck abandoned along the North Ridge. Matches the suspect's description. Tracks suggest he fled on foot. Any sign of him? Harris shook his head. Not yet. But the state police are sending search teams. Logan nodded slowly. He's not slipping away. Not after what he did. Moore glanced at the shepherds. You naming them yet? Logan looked down at the male shepherd, who gazed back with tired but trusting eyes. He stroked the dog's head gently. I think he already picked his name. Oh yeah, what is it? Logan smiled faintly. Hero. Moore nodded approvingly. Fitting. And her? Moore asked. Logan looked at the fragile female, breathing softly under the warm lamp. Hope, he whispered. For the first time since finding them, Hero's tail thumped lightly against the floor. Over the next week, Logan visited the clinic every day. Seniors in Pine Hollow showed up, with blankets, food, and donations. News spread across the town like wildfire. An officer and a stray shepherd, uncovering a secret testing lab in the forest. People cried reading the story in the newspaper. Some couldn't sleep, thinking of the poor animals. But everyone rallied. Logan often found himself sitting on the floor beside Hero and Hope, who had finally begun eating steady meals. Hero leaned against Logan whenever he sat close, and Hope, still weak but recovering, pressed her nose into his palm. One afternoon, Hero rested his head on Logan's knee, and Logan felt something shift inside him, something warm, something familiar. Something he hadn't felt since losing his last canine partner years ago. Elise approached him quietly. You know, once they're fully healed, they'll both need a home. Logan didn't hesitate. They already have one. Hero lifted his head, ears twitching, as if he somehow understood. Hope gave a soft, fragile wag. Elise smiled. I thought you'd say that. It was nearly 2 weeks later. Snow still heavy in the forest. When the call came, Harris radioed Logan at dawn. Suspect spotted. Northwest trailhead, armed. Logan's heartbeat kicked into high gear. He grabbed his coat. Hero limped to the door, eager to follow. Hate to say it, buddy, Logan said, kneeling beside him. But you're not coming with me this time. You need rest. Hope needs you. Hero whined softly, leaning into him. Logan pressed his forehead to Hero's. You've done your part. Let me finish it. Hero reluctantly stepped back, but his eyes followed Logan. All the way out the door, Logan and the deputies moved, through the snowy forest carefully, weapons drawn. Tracks led toward a ravine. They found the suspect, crouched behind a fallen tree, trying to light a fire with trembling hands, face pale from cold. "It's over," Logan shouted. "Hands up!" The man looked up, eyes frantic. "They'll shut me down. They'll take everything. You don't understand. My research. You tortured living creatures." Logan snapped. "This ends now." The man reached for something in his coat. Moore fired a warning shot. Snow exploded beside the man's shoulder. He froze, surrendered, collapsed into the snow as deputies rushed forward. Logan didn't feel triumph, only relief. Justice at last. Days passed. Hope grew stronger. Hero healed slowly but steadily. The other animals found sanctuaries and loving care. The cabin was dismantled, the forest reclaimed by nature. One morning, Logan sat on his porch, watching snow drift lazily from the sky. Hero trotted out beside him, tail swaying gently. Hope curled at his feet, eyes half closed in peaceful rest. The forest beyond lay quiet, safe again. Logan scratched behind Hero's ears. "Not bad for a night's work, huh, partner?" Hero nudged his hand, pride shining in those pale blue eyes. Hope gave a soft bark, as if agreeing. For the first time in a long while, Logan felt a fullness in his heart, a sense of purpose, a reminder that even in the coldest winters, compassion could break through like sunlight. He leaned back in his chair, the shepherds flanking him, warm against the chill. "Let's go home," he whispered. And for the first time in their lives, Hero and Hope were